Hello and welcome to Linuxhint YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about strings in C programming language. We are going to discuss how do you initialize strings in C programming language and how do you work with strings. Keep in mind that this is a very short video only on the basic knowledge of strings and this is not for string manipulations. We would make another video specifically for string manipulation in C programming language. Without any further wait, let's get on with this video. Okay, so what is a string? Well, if you look at it, strings are actually nothing but a sequence of characters placed in a particular order. So, in programming in C language, the same concept applies. That means strings are considered to be a sequence of characters. But there is no such thing as sequence when it comes to programming. So, strings are arrays, or I should say character arrays. So if you look at a string, let's say we have a string hello with an exclamation mark at the end. So we can say that this is an array of characters with the first index being H, second being E, and so on respectively. To store this string in a variable, we define it with the data type of character. We give it a name, a variable name, not this name. I should just change it to string, and we give it a particular size. Let's say we want to give it a size of 20. And then we can simply assign our string to it and we can say hello world. So now we have our string hello world placed inside the character array, and every character of this string is placed in a separate index value. So if you look at this diagram on your screen right now, we have 20 boxes or 20 memory locations, and each has been filled with our string or character hello world. But after the last character, after the character D, the next memory space is filled with a null character or /0. This tells our compiler that the string has successfully ended and that we do not need to traverse through any more memory locations under this specific character array name. So that is how strings are stored inside the memory. So coming back to our code, there are also multiple ways of declaring a string. You can declare a string with this way, where you define the length of the string and you set it equal to a particular string, or you can define a character data type with a name, whatever you want to call it. Leave the size empty and simply assign it a string value. I am a string. Or you can simply create another character array. I'm going to name it as ARR1. You can even create a string by using our normal character creation method, which is by using square brackets, and within the curly parentheses, we break down our string into individual characters. When defining strings like this, we can also assign the size at the same time. But remember, if your string has 6 characters, you need to assign it a size of 7 characters because we want to have that null character as showed to you in the diagram at the very end of the string. So we don't want to do something like this where we just simply put the size as 5 and then we give it 5 characters because we won't have the space to store our null character. So always increase this size of the array by 1. Now this was a simple way of storing or initializing strings, but how do you display them? Well, you display them by using an escape sequence %s. This tells the compiler that okay, read an array from the memory but print it out as a single variable. So for the first string I can simply write string. Let me actually copy all of this 4 times. For the second time I'm going to call str, third one array1. For the last one it's array2. So now if I execute this command or this code, I should get the following result. Hello world, I am a string, Linux, I am a string, hello. I did not use any escape sequences, so that is why. Therefore, I'm going to use an escape sequence of \n. This just makes it a little more clean. There's another thing. So I'm going to comment all of this out. Since we have already defined that a string in C programming language is essentially an array. So that means we can access the individual elements of an array as well. To do that, we simply use the index value of the particular character that we want to fetch. So let's for the first string that is says hello world, I'm going to fetch the fourth character. So I'm going to use the printf, and instead of using the percentage %s, I'm going to use the percentage %c. So the compiler knows that okay, we are not fetching a whole string, we are rather fetching a single element. And I'm going to fetch the fourth index. So the fourth index has the character O. As I explained in the beginning of this video, that this video is not about string manipulation, but still I'll show you a way to change the characters of a string. Well, you change the value of a string just like you would change the value of an element inside any array. You simply refer to it using the index value, and then you assign it a different value using the assignment operator. Here, as you can see, I have changed the character at the fourth index to C, and I'm then printing out the string as a whole. So when I run this code, I get hell C world. So our character at the fourth index, which was an O, was changed to a C. So that was it for this very short and concise video about strings in C programming language. Stay tuned to learn more about string manipulations in C programming language as well.